Welcome to Cryptonite. This is a show where I'm going to share with you all some recent analysis and educate you on recent events on cryptocurrency, decentralized finance, NFT, and everything to do with crypto, basically. So today's Tuesday, 7th of September. There's a lot that's been going on over the last few days, but before we go into the news, let's just look at the prices for some of the top key kind of players at the moment. Um, so let's jump into it. So when we go in here, so today obviously being September the 7th, obviously El Salvador is a big day for El Salvador today where they have legally adopted the Bitcoin as legal tender. We can see that the price for Bitcoin at the moment is floating around $50,082.23. It's made a huge rally over the last number of weeks. Let's hope the momentum stays. There are some key support lines that it needs to meet, and there are some resistances up around the 51K at the moment. So let's just wait and see what happens over the next couple of days. Ethereum, it went up to 3,900 odd or so it's gone back down to 3,683. A lot going on for Ethereum at the moment. Um, Especially with the whole ETH burning and with ETH 2.0, which there's a lot of movement on at the moment. So we're going to wait and see how that pans out, and let's see how things move along. Cardano with its test net, it went up as high above $3, and now it's hitting at 258. So let's hope it kind of sustains around this kind of mid-level range, around $2.50 for Cardano. There has been some um, negative news around the test nets in terms of some of its functions that it should have been um, fairly. Um, through the test it should have been working, but it wasn't working. So we're going to wait and see what happens. And obviously, then there was a lot of FUD recently around, when Cardano does actually implement its kind of platform, and what companies will be out there to kind of go ahead and use its smart contract capabilities to start building on it, considering Solana um, um, and other kind of platforms are there already available for organizations to go ahead and quickly develop on it. BNB, that has spiked up to over $5. It's gone back down. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with the development around BNB. There's a lot of stuff happening around the Binance Smart Chain at the moment, and BNB, it has a huge economy of a lot of DeFi's and NFTs being built, minted. So watch this space. There's a room for growth there, and I think Binance are doing um, quite a lot of things to kind of help enable the growth of the market within the cryptocurrency space. XRP, I'm not going to talk about XRP. People who know me, you know why. So I'm going to move on to the next one. So Solana. So obviously Solana, I bought this ages ago, and the way it has moved up parabolically is amazing. So there's a lot of positive news out there happening at the moment, and I understand NFTs are also going to be um, on the Solana network. So there is a lot of stuff happening on here, so it's worthwhile looking into. At the moment, you can see it's an all-time high at 172. If you look back over 3 months ago, it was around, let's say, average around $30, and look at that. Since August the 12th, it has just started to move up parabolically. So if I was you, I would wait and see what happens. I'll probably need to go into my trading view, look into my technical analysis, and find out what some of the indicators are telling me. Um, so yeah, so that's enough for the updates around what's been happening in the market. So I just want to go into some key important news that's been happening over the last day or two. And just to give you some insight in terms of how these news are impacting or influencing the market in a positive or negative way. So first and foremost, let's look at just today. So today is a very important day today on September the 7th. El Salvador has officially made Bitcoin a legal tender in their country. So it's the first sovereign government to use Bitcoin as legal tender. So what this means is if you was in El Salvador, you can go to your local grocery shop and you can pay for goods with Bitcoin. Companies, corporate companies, businesses across, El Salvador will be able to accept Bitcoin as payment for goods and services. So I'm assuming that would also mean that the government would also be able to pay for its services and goods in Bitcoin. Um, so with the kind of circulation of Bitcoin going around exchanging hands, that should have a positive impact. Well, should it will have positive impact on the on Bitcoin itself. Um, what will be interesting is would El Salvador then look to go ahead and then suggest that they can look to also um, pay people's salary in Bitcoin. So that will also be the next stage in terms of what El Salvador probably need to do. So where they, at the moment they can exchange for goods and services using Bitcoin. Banks will be able to, um, I'm assuming, convert the Bitcoin into their local legal tender currency and over to Bitcoin as necessary. Um, so it'll be interesting to see how that evolves into the next stage of their development in terms of paying people's salaries in Bitcoin, um, and also the bigger influence it has on the global economy. It'll be interesting to see what IMF does or other nation states as they closely look at El Salvador in terms of how Bitcoin has influenced the economy as well as reducing the corruption within the government and um, in the country. Um, so with that in mind, what El Salvador had did, they bought their first 200 Bitcoins just yesterday. And if they were and yeah, if they did buy it yesterday at 200 Bitcoin, it would have been roughly around 51,883 dollars. So that, if you work out 200 Bitcoins times 51,883 would be over $10 million. So they would have spent over $10 million yesterday purchasing Bitcoin. So you would have seen the Twitter news, or the Twitter feeds today, talking about people going to buy $30 worth of Bitcoin in support of Bitcoin itself. Yeah, so here's the tweet. Yeah, so prior to Bukele's tweet, there had been a growing number of users on social media platforms, including Twitter and Reddit, calling for people to buy small amounts of Bitcoin in support of El Salvador's plan to make Bitcoin legal tender. Bloomberg reported as many investors are betting that the news could give the oldest cryptocurrency a price boost. Um, so if you're in El Salvador and you're a citizen, so Bukele, which announced that the Bitcoin law will go in effect as of today, September 7th. So the government will use the Chivo e-wallet, which is preloaded with $30 of Bitcoin for everyone who downloads it. So if you're a citizen in El Salvador, download the Chivo e-wallet, which will give you $30 worth of Bitcoin for everyone who downloads it. And I'm assuming there will be some sort of check and check against your identity of who you are, and you say who you are with ID and verification that needs to take place. So great news for all cryptocurrency out there. Um, so let's look to see what happens as next steps. Um, oh, the other bit of news, which I forgot, is El Salvador's government has also been working on building infrastructure to support the new Bitcoin law, including creating a 150 million Bitcoin trust to facilitate exchange between Bitcoin and the US dollars in the country. So maybe next time we could probably go into how they look to create this infrastructure, um, as I'm sure Bukele would like to have Bitcoin succeed in the country and demonstrate it to other nation states that you can use both Bitcoin and US dollars in the country to help support the growth of the economy and innovate. So moving over to the next one. So Ethereum has burned more than 200,000 Ethereum as part of its upgrade, and that works out to be roughly 675 million at the price at which it was burned. So far in total, 204,281 Ethereum has been burned. So the purpose of this burning is that it's gone. Okay, let me go back. So the next step of the news is more than 200,000 Ethereums has been burned by EIP 1559 as part of its recent upgrade that burns transaction fees that used to go to miners. So over 200,000 Ethereum has been burned. That equates to 675 million at the price it was burned, which would have gone to miners who would have typically mined Ethereum for the transactions to move along. Um, so with this in mind, EIP 1559 was introduced in early August as a way of hastening the upgrade to Ethereum 2.0, the next generation version of Ethereum that transitions the blockchain from its proof of work, a computational intensive way of verifying transactions, to proof of stake, an environmental friendly algorithm that uses far less energy. So it's moving away from its proof of work to proof of stake. Um, so, and obviously this move had obviously caused a lot of uproar with the people who had bought a lot of mines, who have been mining Ethereum over the last number of years, who have bought expensive graphic cards and continue to mine Ethereum. So my understanding is those people who are mining using those graphic cards will probably look to other proof of works to start mining on other cryptocurrency platforms. Um, in terms of the implementation of Ethereum 2.0, the merger, well, they're talking about later on this year to early 2022. Uh, based on how, based on this kind of merge already and how far we've been talking about this for so long, I doubted they may hit this milestone, but we'll look to see how they progress. And obviously, with this merger, we would have a huge influence around the transaction fees because Ethereum transaction fees at the moment are very high. They are ridiculously high at some points during the day when there's a lot of traffic in the network. So everyone is looking towards in terms of how the Ethereum gas fees can be reduced once the Ethereum 2.0 is out. So another part of the news. So if you are in Singapore, I know it's Binance again on the news, but if you are based in Singapore, you should switch from Binance.com to Binance.sg, as Binance.com will not be operating in Singapore anymore due to the new rules set by MAS, the Monetary Authority in Singapore. Um, and I think due to Binance.com not meeting those regulations or not complying to those current regulations, rules set out by MAS, um, they have been told to restrict certain access for users using the platform Binance.com. So what Binance had done was they set up Binance.sg, which is an independent entity altogether, and is operating in Singapore under the exemption whilst going through and applying for its PSA license application. So So far, looks it's safe to use, and I doubt, I mean, no doubt that Binance will probably get this PSA license from Maz. They just have to go through the formal processes to make sure that their controls, their oversight, AML, KYC processes meets the standard of the regulators. So make sure. And also to highlight, one of the main changes will be that the Singapore dollar pairs will also be removed as well from the Binance.com site. So yeah, so if you're in Singapore, make sure you go and switch over to Binance.sg. So a quick update on Tron. Those who've been in Tron for a long time, yep, we've had some fun and games. So Justin Sun announces Tron DeFi total value locked is over $11 billion, which was posted on CoinCora. So, which is good news for Tron, as there seems to be a lot of trust with Tron, with over $11 billion being stored. Those people are seeing some good returns in storing, over $11 billion in a decentralized finance platform. Who would have seen the day where people had skipped centralized platforms from banks, investment banks, to actually storing on a decentralized platform, which gives you a lot of returns. So yeah, watch out for Tron and see what happens over the next few weeks, given this announcement. Uh, Another update: NFTs are everywhere. So if you go on Twitter, Reddit, news, main media news, you'll see NFTs are being posted everywhere. So what caught my eye was Visa has recently announced its support for NFTs and the crypto market. Um, and they have partnered with crypto exchanges and purchased a number of NFTs. So I'm trying to figure out which NFTs did they buy into. Crypto. So not sure. CryptoPunks. Over the last 6 years, Visa has built a collection of historic commercial artifacts from early paper credits to the ZipZap machine. Today, as we enter a new era of NFT commerce, Visa welcomes CryptoPunks. Okay, so awesome. So Visa has purchased CryptoPunk. So Visa has purchased CryptoPunk 7610 to their collection. So this is great support. It shows that there's commercial appetite in buying NFTs for future collections. Um, and obviously the NFT world is still blossoming and there's a lot going on and there's a lot more opportunities out there with NFTs, a lot of creative design and support for the community. And obviously Visa being a payment platform, they don't want to miss out in the whole opportunity and start to innovate and support the crypto market with its ability to make transactions, and obviously figure out how Visa, so if I was Visa right now, I'd probably figure out how does my platform support the crypto market in terms of paying for goods, and also internally within my own network in terms of do we have the right capabilities, blockchain network support, policies, um, um, you know, anything that we, to support the ability to transact due to different crypto platforms, do we have the right infrastructure in place and support? So if I was Visa, I think they're heading in the right direction, and support the growth around, cryptocurrency. And, like I always mention, you don't want to be the BlackBerry of 2021 where technology is evolving around you. Um, you don't want to be, stagnant and sit back and then thinking, oh, all of this is a fad, and it would just, it would, consumers may not look into taking some of the kind of new services and functions out there. So well done to Visa. Um, and last of all, but not least, there's been a whale alert, which was yesterday. Somebody has moved 200,000 BNB from Binance. So this is roughly over $100 million based on yesterday's price. So over $100 million or 200,000 BNB has been transferred from Binance to an unknown wallet. So there's a lot of speculation out there in terms of what this transaction is. Um, my I suspect is going to a cold wallet because 200,000 BNB, if you currently stake it within the Binance platform at the moment, you're going to get quite a lot of returns, especially in their staking platform. They give you some really good returns on BNB and also um, percentage on some new coins that are out there. So yeah, so I suspect if I had 200,000 BNB, I wouldn't really transfer it to anywhere else. They're probably transferring it to a cold wallet and still staking these as rewards and gathering more additional coins as well. So that's enough for me today. Those are the key important news I wanted to share. If you like this channel, please like and subscribe. Share this on Twitter. I am looking to do more of this over the next couple of days and see if I can post daily and share with you the most important key points um, that is relevant. And also, alternately, days I'll look to do some analysis and sharing my point of view on some of the technical analysis on the cryptocurrencies. Thank you for now. Speak to you later.